So my paper was on the pros and cons of visiting faculty at four-year state universities. Um, so here at Winona State, we actually have a really broad variety of visiting or faculty members already. So most of us have already interacted with visiting faculty members that may be international or domestic. There's two types of visiting faculty members, either adjunct or full-time. Adjunct means that they're here for about 1 to 2 years on a fixed-term contract, and full-time means they're kind of like their traditional professor where they're on a tenure track and more so for the university in the long run. Some of the pros and cons of visiting faculty. First, one of the pros is increase in diversity. When you bring a professor from a different country, for instance, they have a whole different variety of experiences compared to a professor that you may pick from the United States. They can bring you a bunch more to help your university grow as a whole, more so for the long run, because they have all these new things and all these new ideas, which can really help a faculty grow. One of the cons, though, from it is the cost of turnover in the selection process. Since some of these professors are on only 1 to 2 year contracts, it means after 1 to 2 years that the university has to put money into going through the selection process of sifting through applicants, putting in ads, and also putting on interviews, maybe even flying people out to be interviewed. So that's a huge cost, not only with money but also time. Money, paying to do the interviews and all that, but time as well, because there may be a period when your university may be short-handed, it may be short-staffed, so they need to find ways to work with that and try and make the process as quick as possible so they don't run into that problem. Another problem or con would be the work-family conflict. Since some of the professors are here for only 1 to 2 years, they may not choose to bring their family with them here if they do have one. That can put a lot of stress not only on the marriage but also relationships with your children, because you are away from home for those 1 to 2 years and you may only go to visit maybe once or twice each year. So the organization needs to figure out a way to either help them or give them like a plane ticket or something to be able to go back home once or twice, and also to help them just communicate them more regularly, like through Skype or some other way, just to help them lower that stressor. Another thing that has to be worked with is compensation and benefits. Since some professors do come from a different country, they have to adapt to the new cost of living. For instance, if they are from a third world country, it's a lot different compared to coming over to the United States and having to adapt to that. And also the benefits, if they are only adjunct professor, they're considered part-time employees, which means that they get a lot less benefits compared to a full-time professor. So that's something that may demotivate employees because they aren't getting as many benefits as their coworkers, which kind of leads into my practical aspect with I interviewed Sandra Reed down here in Human Resources at Winona State, and Winona State is a U-form organization, which means that they have one central human resources department. So Sandra Reed's experience was that she worked with the salary calculations and figuring out what amounts the university could pay to the faculty members. Some problems that came up with this were the exchange rate between countries and explaining to employees the change in monetary values. Another thing was also the cost of living, because it may seem lower or higher because the United States has a different cost of living compared to some countries. Some challenges that also came up with this was proper documentation when working with the I-9 form. With the I-9 form, you need two types of identification, one being like a passport, a driver's license, or a birth certificate. Typically they would have the passport when they came over, but they would be missing out on that second one. And since they're missing out on it, they need to find a way to get that and not just a copy. So either they could fly over there and go get it themselves or have it sent over here. Either way, they have a period when they're not getting paid, but they're still kind of employed for the university. So she kind of came up with a solution for that, is to have better communication with the local governments from whatever country the visiting faculty member are coming from, just to make sure that they do have that proper documentation when coming over to the United States. And then she kind of left me off with a really nice analogy to think about, to put yourself in the shoes of a visiting faculty member. So first, imagine studying abroad. That's probably already stressful enough. Now, imagine having to teach a class, leave your family, maybe learn a new language, and learn a whole new set of cultural values. If studying abroad wasn't stressful enough, multiply that about 5 with each one of those things, and that's what it's like to be a visiting faculty member. Now, it's not all bad. One thing that she's noticed over the years is that after they go through the process for about that whole transition process, which takes about 1 to 2 years, after that period, they become such more confident professors and become such better at all the things they're doing just in the workplace. They become just such better workers. In the end, it really is a great experience for them, which kind of leads into my recommendations to help promote that or help fix that transition process. To start, I would try and search more so for professors that just came out of their PhD program, because it would lower the chance that they probably have a family established and having to worry about that stressor. It just gets rid of it kind of completely. And another recommendation I had is to, instead of having adjunct professors, have the professors be on like a 1 to 2 year trial period where they'll be teaching classes and everything, all the works of a professor. But after those 1 to 2 years, offer them positions as full-time professors if they are standout. It would save the university a bunch of money because they don't have to go through that whole selection process every 2 years and all of that. And also it saves them a bunch of money with the cultural trainings and just that overall cost of the transition process. So overall, visiting faculty are a great addition to every university and can help them in so many ways just grow and be the best they can in the long term. Thank you.